Now, in this part of our training, we are going to learn about the checkout page customizer offered by Pabbly subscription billing. So, in Pabbly subscription billing, all the plans which we create under a product, each and every plan has a checkout page. And using that checkout page, the customer make the purchase, they make the payment. Now, PSB also offers an option to completely customize that checkout page as per your requirement. So how you can customize the checkout page, we will see that in this video. So we'll just scroll down and here you can see we have created this basic plan. Now before editing or before customizing the checkout page, we will just go to the edit section of this plan and we will be adding a setup fee and a trial over here. So let's select the setup fee as for example of 1000 rupees. It's a fixed setup fee and let's add a free trial of 7 days. So here we have added a trial of 7 days. The price is 0 because it's a free trial and we have an optional setup fee of 1000 rupees. Now after doing this, we will just click on this save button. And as we click on save, these news updates have been added. We have added an optional setup fees and a free trial. Now to customize the checkout page, what you have to do, you just have to click on these three dots in front of the plan. And here you can see this option of checkout customizer. Just click on it. After clicking on it, here you can see this customizer opens in front of us. And at this section, you can actually customize the whole checkout page as per your requirement. Now, as we open this, here you can see on the left side, we have two options. First one is the blocks and second one is their design. So here, all the blocks which you have in your checkout page, you can customize, you can edit these blocks from this section. And if you have any changes related to the design of the checkout page, you can change that. You can customize that from this particular section. Now here you can see the product and the plan whose checkout page we are customizing. On the top side here in the center, you can see the two options, checkout page and thank you page. So this is the checkout page customizer. And if you want, you can actually customize the thank you page as well. Like right now, we have this default thank you page where we are mentioning that the transaction has been successfully done. And we are also adding the organization email, the support email of our account. But instead of this, if you want, you can customize this page as well. Then here you can see we have this go back button. We have the view checkout page button. By clicking on this button, you can open the customized checkout page in the preview mode. Then if you want, if you have created a customization of a checkout page for some different plan and you want to use that same customization for this plan as well or this product as well, then in that case, you can actually import the designs too. Like you don't have to make the same customization for all the plans. You can just import the design from other plans customization which we have made for the existing one as well. Or you can clone this design for some other product for some other plan too. Then after that, we have this reset button. By clicking on the reset button, all the customization which you have done are now set to reset to the default setting like we have right now over here. And we have this save button. Now, what are the customization features Pabbly subscription billing offers under this checkout page customizer? Let's explore them. So from the left side here, you can see the first option it gives is the page layout. Now, as we select the page layout, here it is showing us three different types of layout. The first one is the boxed one, which is we having right now. Then the second one is the full width one. In this, it is not creating any kind of box and it will cover the full width of the page on which we will be adding this checkout page. And the third one is a pop-up checkout page. So if you want, you can add a pop-up checkout page in your app or your website. You can embed the pop-up checkout page as well. So you will be getting this embed code over here, the head section and the pop-up button section. By adding these codes to your web pages or to application, you can add these pop-up checkout pages too. So in this video for now, we will be selecting the boxed layout right now. Then we have the cart flow. That do we want to create a single step flow or a multi-step flow? In a single step flow, you can see the whole checkout page with all the details all the field will be shown on a single page. But if we select multi-step, here you can see it has now divided into two parts. The first section is the customer section where we are going to enter the product, the quantity, we are going to enter the customer details and all of that. We will be selecting the options like the add-ons or the setup fee or the trials over here. And the second section is of payments. Now on the payment section, you will be adding the details of the payment. You will be adding the card details or payment related details over there. So if you want to create this type of multi-step checkout page or a single step checkout page, you can select it from here. Then it is asking us for the default layout. So do we want to go with the default layout which we have, or if we select single column layout, here you can see this is a single column layout in which in a single column step by step we are adding all the details. Like we have the product and the plan details over here, then we have the setup fee details over here, then we have the total pricing, then we will be having the product details, then scroll down, we will be entering the customer details. The customer at last is going to enter their details and the payment details at last. So in this way, if you want to use a single column or you want to go with the default column like this, where we have two sections, where we are on the left side, we are adding the product and the payment details. And on the right side, we are showing all the details like order summary and plan details. So you can select that too. Then you have this option of showing the background image. That do you want to show any kind of background image? Do you want to add any kind of background image to your checkout page or not? If you want, you can just drop the checkout page image over here. You just have to upload the image. For example, I'll just go to the download section and let me select an image from here. Let's say, for example, I want to use this particular image, this gradient image. So I'll be adding this image on my checkout page. So we have just uploaded this image over here in the background image section, and you will see this particular image is added as the background of my checkout page, as you can see over here. Then we have the browser title. So what is the title of our checkout page that will be shown on our browser? Like here you can see it is written Pabbly payments over here. Now instead of this, what is the title you want to show? That title you have to enter over here. For example, I want to name it as Pabbly checkout page. This is the browser title I have entered, browser title label. So this title will be shown on the top of the section, on this top of the browser page. Then it is asking us for the background color. So if you want, you have an option to add a page background color. Instead of image, if you want, you can add some kind of background color over here as well. Let me select this kind of color. But right now, because we have added an image, that's why we are not adding any kind of background color over here. Next option is remove background side space for pop-up. So here it is showing us some side space, but if we select this option, then in case we create a pop-up checkout page over here, if we select the layout type as pop-up, then it is going to remove the blank space from here. If we unselect this option over here, let me unselect it. Here it is, let me unselect it. So it is going to show the white space, but if we select this, then in that case, it is not going to show. It is going to remove the background white space over here. Then after this, the next option that we have is the main area color. So this is the main area of our checkout page, and what is the color you want to add over here? You can basically select any color from this color palette. So here you can see on this color palette, we have different colors, and you can select any color of your choice from here. You can basically select any color and see the live updates over here as well. Then it is selecting, asking us for the sidebar color. So this is the sidebar. Let's say I want to add the sidebar color as orange over here, or this kind of light orange. So you can change the sidebar color too. Then it is asking us page max width, that what will be the maximum width of the page. So by default, it is 1020 pixels over here. But if you want, you can increase or decrease the page width as well. For example, if you want, you can enter the 1500 as the page width, or if you want, you can enter the 900 as the maximum page width. And this is the maximum size this page is going to consume. Right now, I'll be just going with the 1020 pixels. But if you want, then you can basically change. You can make these changes according to your website, web page, or apps UI as well. At last, it is asking us to show placeholders as field labels. So if you select this option here, you can see the placeholders are shown as field labels. If you unselect it, then the placeholders, like the field which we have, what is the data the user is supposed to enter in those fields, it is written in the field itself. If we select it, it will be showing us on the top of it that we have to enter. The customer is supposed to enter the first name over here. So it has written the first name on top. But if you want to show it in the field itself, just unselect this option. Then it is asking us section label text size, that what will be the size of the text the customer is going to enter. So you can change that size from here too. And field label text size, like what will be the size of the text in the field which we are going to show. You can basically change that size to according to your requirement completely. So we have all of these options over here. After making all the changes, after selecting all the customization options for this section, just click on the Save Changes button. Now, when we click on Save Changes, all the changes which we have made are now saved over here. So these are all the changes we made right now. Now, after this, we'll get back to blog section. So right now we made the changes in page layout, but after that we have this option of header settings. So we are going to customize this header as well. Now you will notice as we hover on these options on these blocks over here on the left side, those particular blocks which are supposed to customize using these settings will be highlighted over here. So as I hover on header settings, you can see the header of this particular checkout page is highlighted. It is showing us that going to these settings, we can customize this section. So we'll go to the header settings, and the first thing it asks us is adjust spacing. So here you have an option to adjust the spacing. Like if I'm going to increase the spacing from here, it is going to increase the spacing directly from here. You have an option to completely increase this kind of spacing. Like I want to add a border or line or some spacing between these two things, like the actual checkout page and the header. That's why I have added a margin bottom. You can basically add the margins from left and right as well. You can basically add some kind of padding inside the box, inside the header itself. Or if you want, you can add the padding from top, bottom, padding from left and right too. So you can basically add spacing related to this section, this particular section too. Then it is asking us hide header content. If we select this option, the header content will be automatically hidden from this. So if I make the padding as 0 over here, you can see the header is invisible now. We have successfully removed from here. But right now we want to show the header. That's why we are selecting this option. But if you don't want it, you can just select this option and keep these settings as 0. And the header will not be shown to us. Then it is asking us for the title, that what is the header title you want to give. So let's say I want to give the header title as join us today. So as I've written this header title, you can see this in this header section, this text is added. So if you want to add some kind of text at the top of your page, you can add that. Then we have this option to add the header image. So you can basically add a header image as well. Let's say I want to enter the logo of Pabbly subscription billing as the header image. So I'm going to enter that logo over here. And you can see this particular logo is added. Now the resolution of this logo is this big. That is why it is showing us this big logo, but you can basically add a small logo too. Right now, let's remove this logo from here and we will just go with the header text over here. So right now you can see join us today is the header text we have entered and it is showing us the same header text. If we remove it, the header text will be removed as well. You can basically change the size and the color of header text. So if you want to make the header text big or small, you can do it, or you can change the color directly from here of the header text as per your requirement. Right now we will be just removing this header text because it's not looking good on this particular checkout page. Then we will move to the subheader title. So this is the subheader. So we are going to enter the subheader title as secure checkout page. If I remove the checkout over here, you can see this section can be edited from this subheader title. So whatever text you want to enter in this section, you can do that. Then we have the size, that what will be the font size of this text. You can change that. And also, as you can guess, you can change the color. Now here in the subheader, you can see we have this icon. If you want, you can change this icon too. Let me select the same PSB logo icon once again, and you will see that icon will be added on this subheader section. So we have added the icon over here, and here you can see PSB logo is added. In this way, you can add any icon, any logo on your checkout page in this subheader section too. So let's remove this icon for now, and then it is asking us subheader description. So enter details to complete purchase. So this is the subheader description we have added. If you want to enter some kind of description in this section, you can enter that text over here. Select the size and the color. Also, you can select the border size and the border color of this section. Like for example, if I want to change the border color to white, you can do it. You can basically select any color from this whole palette over here. So let's say I want to select the black color, so I can select black as the text color and the border color as well. So as per your requirement, you can completely check out or customize this checkout section. Then to save these settings, just click on this Save Changes button. Right now, we just made some random changes. That's why we are not saving it. Now we'll go to the block section, and after going to the block section, the next thing which we have is the product info box. And the way we have edited the header settings, in the similar way, you can customize this product info box. In this box, it is going to show the details related to the product and the plan. So in card style here, you can see we have this option to add some kind of border. So you can basically add the border. You can select the background color. What is the background color you want to show in this section? Let's say I want to show white, black, gray, or any other color from this palette. You can select that too. If you want to decrease the transparency, you can just select this any kind of color and decrease the transparency to make it more transparent over here. Like I have entered the transparency as 0, so it has become completely transparent. Then it is asking us for the border color. So if you want to add any kind of border, you can just select this option and the border color will be changed. Then it is asking us to adjust spacing. So like we have added or adjusted the spacing of the header section, you can adjust the spacing of this section as well. Now here you have an option to enable quantity option. So if you want to show this quantity option on the checkout page to the customer, you can select it. If you unselect it, then the customer cannot select the quantity of the product. Here by selecting this option, by selecting enable quantity option, the customer can change the quantity, increase or decrease the quantity of the product or the plan which they are applying. Then you have the product text style, that in which style the customer has basically entered the text. So here from here you can change the font size, you can select the weight of the font like normal, semi-bold or bold, or the font color too. So like I want to keep this text as red, you can keep it as red. Then after that we have the next setting, that is plan text style. So here you can change the font size of the plan text, like we have the plan details, so you can change the font text or font size of plan. You can also change the weight according to your choice or the text color too. Then after that we have planned amount style, like the amount which is written, you can change the size of that, you can change the weight of that and also the color of that section too. In this way, it is showing all the details customization option of each and every detail mentioned over here. Then after that, we have this option of purchase billing frequency text. So if we select this option, it is going to remove the frequency, the duration of the recurring plan. And if we unselect it, it is going to show it. So if you want to show it or not, it is on you. You can basically select this option as per your requirement. And also you can basically select what kind of text you want to show. So here for units, what you want to show, I want to show per unit, I want to show for month, I want to show month. Like for example, if you want to show MON just or MTH for month, then you can write that, you can customize that thing over here as well. Then for week, I want to write week is this, for year, for one time. So I want to keep these things like this. So you can basically have an option to customize these things as well, like how you want to enter the billing frequency over here. Let me make it as month over here. Now after this, what you have to do, you just have to click on save changes. And as you click on save changes, here you can see that these changes are applied. Now we'll move to the next block that we have, like after page layout, header settings and product info box, we have order summary. So here when we hover on order summary, you can see this order summary section is highlighted. So you can customize this section as well. And you can see the same customization option. Like here it is written setup fee. Instead of setup fee, if you want to name this something else, like we have added a setup fee of 1000 rupees. But instead of that, if you want to name something else as the setup fee, you can do that. For example, one-time fee, if you want to add, if you want to write setup fee as one-time fee, you can write that. You can actually change the header of this order summary section too. Then you can change the font size, weight and color. Then here in total, we have written total. If you want to write, for example, grand total, then you can basically write that too. So you can completely customize the theme, the text, the description of these things on this checkout page as per your requirement. Now here after that, we have this option to style the total title. So this is the total title. If you want, we can change the size, and here you can see the grand total size is changed. If you want, you can change the color as well. For example, I want to keep the color as black. You can keep it as black. Then here you can change the customization of total amount style, text style, plain text style, plan amount style, and all of that. Now here, this option says hide order billing frequency as well. So if you select this option here, you can see the billing frequency is shown over here, right here per month. But if you want, you can basically hide this as well. So here you have an option to hide the billing frequency in product and plan description and in order summary too. Then after that, after making the changes, as you can guess, you just have to save these changes for now. Right now, I'm not saving these changes. Then after order summary, you have this add-on section. You can customize this add-on section. You have this section of coupons. So if you have added some kind of coupons, if you have created some kind of coupons, you can customize that coupon section as well. And you will get the same customization settings for it too. After customizing coupons, the next customization that we have is of plan description. So as we go on, hover on plan description, here you can see this section is highlighted. You can customize this section. You can add the card style, like for example, the border radius is 5. If you increase the border radius, here you can see the curvature of these ends actually increases. And then if I make it 0, it will be sharp edge rectangles. So by default, we keep it as 5 over here. If you want, you can increase or decrease it. Also, if you want, you can change the background color for whatever color you want to keep as the background color of this plant description. You can change the spacing as well. For example, if you want to increase or decrease the spacing, you can do that. If you want to increase or decrease the padding, for example, if I want to increase the padding from top, you can increase that padding too. Then it is asking us plant details, or for example, instead of plant details, I want to name this section as plant description. So you can do that too. So I have written plant description over here. So on my checkout page, plant details will be called as plant description. I can change the formatting of this section. Then here we have the content. You can change the font size of the content. You can change the font weight of the content and also the color. Like I want to keep this content as red. It is going to be as red over here. Then it is asking us list type. So we have different list type over here. So if I check, for example, pointer, so it is going to show pointers over here for the list of items like the bullet points. If I select arrow, it is going to show arrow. And similarly, it is going to show all of those things. In icon color, if you want, you can change the icon color. So the arrows or the list styles which we are creating or adding over here, you can change the color of that. And also you can change the color of this particular text as well, as you can see. Then after that, this was the plant description section in which you can make customization. After plant description, we have this basic information section. In basic information section, we are collecting some basic information from the customer. You can change the font size over here for this title. You can change the weight. Instead of basic information, you can enter, for example, customer details. And if you write customer details over here, then it is going to change the customer details. This section will be called customer details over here. You can basically give any name of your choice. Then after that, here you have the field. That what are the field? What are the details you want to ask your customer? Like right now, we have only 3 basic details. We are asking only 3 basic details from the customer. That is first name, last name, and email address. And if you want to add multiple fields, if you want to add some other fields as well, you can do that. You can actually create or add custom fields too. And we will see that in a couple of minutes later in this video. But here you can see by default, we have an option to add company, phone number, and website field too. If you want to show these fields, if you want to collect these details from the customer, you just have to select these check boxes over here. And as you select these check boxes, you can see these fields are added. And if you want to make these fields are required, it is mandatory to enter these details, then just select this is required button over here. So in this way, all of these fields will be shown to the customer on the checkout page, and it is mandatory because we have selected is required. It is mandatory to enter the details in all of those fields. If you want to make some of these fields not so required, so you can unselect this option is required. And if you want to completely hide this field, just unselect these options, these check boxes over here. Like for example, I have added a field of phone number, and then just click on the save changes button. Then after that, we will move to the next block over here. So the next block which we are going to discuss right now after basic info is the billing. Now here in billing section, we have to collect the address of the customer. Now here in billing address, we were basically asking the country and the state. But if you want, you can basically add some other details. Like you can ask this customer for the street, for city, for country, for zip code as well. And you can make all of these things as mandatory. So if you are creating some kind of tax settings, it is very important to collect the country and the state of the customer. On the basis of the country and state, we apply tax in Pabbly subscription billing. We will understand this better when we will be creating tax settings in the further part of this training. But right now, here you can see we have selected all of these options and all of these fields are added over here. By adding this field, here you can see this title of billing address, and as you can see, you can just customize this title of billing address, change the font size, the font weight, and the color too. And then after making all the required changes, just click on save. Also, you have an option to change the card style. So here, if we increase the border radius, you can see all of these cards are basically curving. And if you want, you can change the color of this card as well. So I have created red as the color, and this is the border radius. If I keep the border radius as 0, it is going to basically make it a square box with sharp edges, with sharp corners. So right now I'm just keeping the color as transparent over here. I'm just keeping this box transparent. So that's why we have selected this transparent settings section over here. As you can see, we have increased the transparency. And then just click on this save changes button. After updating, after creating this changes, after billing section, now the next address we have is shipping section address. And here in shipping section address, if you want, you can ask for a different shipping address. By default, we collect the shipping address and billing address are same. But if you want to collect the different shipping address, if you are delivering some physical product that you want to ask your customer for shipping address and the billing address, you can show the shipping address section. You can select the same fields in the same way and make the customization. And if you want to keep the same billing address, if you want to give this option of the billing address same as shipping address, you can give this button, this option over here. Right now, I don't want to show the shipping address, so that's why I have just unselected this option and then just click on Save Changes. After shipping address, the next field which we are going to explore is the countdown. Now here, if you want, you can add a countdown timer to this checkout page as well. So if we select this option here, you can see this banner of countdown timer is added. Now here in the countdown timer itself, we have two options. Either we can add a box countdown timer with this box shape, or we can add a countdown timer of full width. So the countdown timer of full width looks good. That's why I've selected this. Then here you have to enter the select start date and end date. That at what date and time this countdown is going to get started and at what date and time this countdown will end. Let's say I want to start this countdown right now. So this is the current date and time. There is 26th of October. Let me change the time as, for example, 5 a.m. And the countdown end date and time is, for example, 27th of October. And the time which I want to select is, for example, 10:30 p.m. So I have selected the start date and end date. And according to that, this countdown is automatically adjusted. Then it is showing us what are the labels we want to show. Do we want to show days, hours, minutes, and seconds? So we have selected all of this. Let's say if you don't want to show the seconds, so you can just remove the second section. If you don't want to show the dates, you can remove that, or hours. You can just set up a countdown with minutes and seconds. In this way, you can create a FOMO in your customer's mind that they might just have a quick offer that is expiring in within few minutes. So in this way, you can customize this countdown as well. Then it is showing us countdown digits. So what should be the size of the digits number showing on this countdown timer? You can change that. You can change the weight of those digits. Also the color, as you can guess. So if we have changed the color to black, for example, then we have the countdown label. So here you can change the font size of this countdown label, the day, hours, minutes, and second which is written. You can change the color of that as well. And also you can basically change the weight. Then it is asking us countdown timer box color. So these are the boxes of countdown timer. You can change the color of those boxes. Let's say if you want to keep it white, black, gray, or blue, for example. So you can keep that color according to your choice. Then it is asking us for the border radius. So we can basically change the border radius from here. We can change the background color from here. Let's say I want to keep the black background. So you can change the black background. Then here, it is written this offer expires soon. Now instead of this, if you want to basically customize this text, if you want to write something else in place of this, you can do that too. Let's say I want to write over here as limited time offer. So we have written this particular text over here and it is written over here. And after expiring, after completing this timer, this countdown, what is the text? What is the message you want to show? You have to enter that particular message over here. For example, I want to show this offer is expired. After completing this countdown, I want to show this message of this offer has expired. You can write that message. And also you can basically change the font size of this text, the weight of the text, and also the color of this text. And then after making the changes, just click on Save Changes button. And then this timer, this countdown timer will be added on your checkout page. After countdown timer, we will come to this payment settings, payment section. Now we'll just hover on it and you can see we can customize this payment section as well. Just click on it. Now here under payment section, what you can do, you can change the card style and adjust the spacing. Here you have this title of your payment information. So you can customize this section too. For example, select payment method. If you want to give this text, you can give this. You can basically customize this text. Then here we have Stripe pop-up. So if we select the Stripe, the customer selects Stripe as the payment gateway. What is the pop-up details we want to show? You can customize that as well. And then just click on Save Changes. In this way, you can just similarly make the color changes, border radius or font size changes, and all of those changes will be applied. After payment, the next is bump offer. Now, if you want to show some kind of bump offer to the customer, if you want to show some kind of add-on as a bump offer to the customer, you can do that. Now, after selecting bump offer, you have to select the card style and adjust the spacing. But first, you have to select this option of show bump offer. If you want to show the bump offer, just select this option. After selecting the bump offer, what is the add-on which we want to give as a bump offer? We have to select that add-on. Like right now, we have this add-on of 10 custom infographics. So we have selected that particular add-on over here. And in this way, you can see this bump offer is added. If we unselect this box, the bump offer will be removed. But if we select it, this bump offer will be added. This add-on will be shown to the customer. Then it is showing us bump offer title. So what is the title you want to show in place of this bump offer? You have to select that. You can basically write any title and format, make the changes of this title according to your choice over here. Then you can select the background color of this bump offer according to the theme of the checkout page or your website which you are creating. Then after that, here we have this bump offer subheading. So here, this is the subheading of this bump offer. If you want, you can change it. If you want, you can make any payment amount or any amount of the add-on which you are adding. You can mention any text, any values over here. Then you can add the description of the bump offer. And at last here you can see bump offer checkbox. So here this is the checkbox of the bump offer. If you want, you can change the checkbox. Let's say I want to add a black border and a white checkbox, for example. So you can just change that too. Or you can just keep it black, red, anything, any color you can choose according to your choice. If you want to show this arrow, you can just select enable arrow. If you don't want this arrow, you can just remove it. And you can change the color of this arrow as well. Let's say I want to keep the black arrow. So I've selected that particular color over here. Then if you select this enable image option, you will get a feature to add an image in this bump offer section. So you can add the image according to your choice. And at last, it is showing us keep bump offer selected as default. So by default, if you want to select, keep this bump offer option selected, this checkbox selected, select this option. If not, if you want the customer to opt in for this bump offer, if you want to keep it by default unselected, you can just unselect this option from here. And after making the changes, just click on the Save Changes button. After bump offer, the next thing which we are going to discuss is user consent. So here you can see there is a section of user consent. If you want, you can customize this section. You can basically enter the label, like for example, if you want to show the privacy policy or return policy or purchasing policy, you can mention that. You can enter the URL. You can make this section hyperlink, enter the URL. Then after that, here you can see the agreement text which you want. You can basically customize this. For example, by clicking, instead of by clicking, I want to make it as by purchasing. By purchasing. So here you can see this particular text is added. Instead of this, I want to keep it as by ordering or by clicking. Here you can see we have this text. You can customize this section. Now here you will see we have basically added some placeholders over here. So you can basically add this kind of placeholder. Here you can see in the help text it is written, you can use checkout now, terms of service URL. You can add this placeholder. You can create any title of this particular terms of service section and you can basically enter these placeholders. You can enter the checkout now button text. You can enter the term of service URL. You can enter the term of service privacy policy URL, privacy policy. You can use this placeholder in this title, in this description as well. Then it is asking us for the size. So if you want, you can just increase or decrease the size of this section. You can change the color of this section and the color of URL hyperlink section as well. Like for example, by default, we keep the hyperlink color as blue. So we will be keeping it as blue over here. Then it is giving us option to add checkbox. So if you want to add a checkbox over here, you can keep the checkbox as well. And if the checkbox is not selected, what is the error you want to give? So you can basically add this error message too. So if the customer is not checking this box and trying to complete the order, this is the error it is going to show. You can customize that error too. Right now, I don't want to show any checkbox, so I'll just keeping it blank, keeping it unselected, and we will just click on Save Changes. Now, similarly, you can customize the other sections as well. So after bump offer, we have this user content, then we have this buy button. You can customize the buy button. If you want, you can customize this testimonial section as well. So we have added some customer testimonials. If you want, you can enter the testimonials of your customer. So if you want to show the customer testimonial, just select this option. You can just unselect this option and this section will be removed from your checkout page. Now, after selecting this option, here you can see you have the option to change this testimonial title. You can enter the name of your customer. You can enter their description, their feedback. You can basically enter the star rating that they gave you. You can enter the customers, the clients who gave you the testimonial, their image as well. In this way, you can basically add multiple testimonials. By clicking on this Add Testimonial button, you can add up to 3 testimonials in your checkout page. At last, you can basically change the heading, title, and description font settings, font changes over here in the testimonial section. Right now, I just don't want to show the testimonial, so I'm just unselecting this option. But if you want, you can keep it. You can just select it as per your requirement. So after testimonial, the next customization option that we get is the tracking code. And this is pretty important. The tracking code section is pretty important. Let's say you are running some ads, Facebook ads or Google ads to market your business. Now, after making the purchase, you want to send this conversion detail, this ad conversion details to your Facebook ads, Facebook pixels or Google Analytics so that on the basis of the conversion, you can optimize your ads as well. Now you can directly do that from this checkout page itself. So if you want, you have an option to enter the pixel ID or the property ID of your Google Analytics account. You can enter your Facebook pixel ID or the property ID of your Google Analytics account. And then after that, the traffic, this activities, this purchase details, the conversion details will be directly sent to that section. Now, if you have any customized tracking code, you can enter that customized tracking code as well. And we have all of these settings for checkout pages. And if the customer successfully make the purchase, they will be reaching to the thank you page. So here in this way, you can track your conversion, that how many people actually landed on your checkout page and how many people actually made the purchase and they were taken to the thank you page. And you can enter the pixel ID, Google Analytics property ID or your customized tracking code over here. So in this way, if you want, you can send the conversion or the track the conversions of your ads directly from here. Facebook ads, Facebook pixel ads, Google Analytics, or you can enter the customized tracking code if you are using some other platform too. So in this way, you can basically use this tracking code section. Now we will come to the footer section. Now here in the footer section, you can say no guarantee seal, 100% satisfaction. So if you want, you can add this kind of seals over here, encrypted checkout. Now, if you want to display this footer, just select this option. If you don't want to show the footer, just unselect this option and the footer will be removed. Then if you want, you can add some footer text, you can make the customization and you have an option to show a footer image as well. Like by default, this image is added in the footer, but instead of this, if you want to show some other image, just upload that particular image over here. After footer, the next section which we have is the custom field. So we discussed while managing these fields that you can add some custom fields on this checkout page. Let's say you want to correct some kind of customized details from your customer. So you have an option to add the custom fields. To initialize the custom fields using query parameters in the checkout page, you can prefer to a doc. So here is a doc, and after clicking on this hyperlink, you will be taken to this page. And here at this page, you will know how you can get pre-filled on checkout page, custom and normal fields. How you can create pre-filled custom fields over this checkout page. If you want to create, so you can basically refer to this doc as well. We will be having a dedicated training regarding that in the upcoming video. Then after that, we have this custom field position, display below the basic information section, display below the billing and shipping address field. Now below the customer details section, whether you want to add these custom fields here or you want to add the custom fields after the billing or shipping address section. So let's say I want to add the custom field below this customer details section. So I have selected this option. Then just click on this add custom field button, select the type of this custom field. Let's say we are collecting some text from the customer. So just select text. Then we have to enter the label of the field. So what is the custom field label? What is the data you want to create? For example, I want to create the tax ID or I want to create the PAN card ID or Aadhaar ID or anything like that. Basically, you can create any custom field, ask for any information, just enter the field label over here. Select that whether this field is required, is it divisible or is it hidden. So if you want, you can basically keep this field as hidden too. So basically, if you keep this field hidden and you enter some kind of pre-filled details, this field will not be shown to the customer, but in response, you will be getting in details while creating the subscription, you will be getting a response or data in place of that. So if you want to keep it mandatory, just select is required button. Then you can just click on this add custom field button. And in this way, you can just keep on adding custom fields on your checkout page over here. So we are just clicking on add custom fields and we are adding some custom fields and you can enter the field label is required, is disabled or is hidden. You can select this section as well. After custom field, like right now, I don't want the custom fields. So I'm just removing these custom fields from here. But after custom fields, we will be moving to the next section. Like we have added this custom field of PAN card ID. Let's save it. And after custom fields, we will move to the next section, that is tax ID. So instead of PAN card ID or instead of creating a custom field, you can directly enter a field of tax ID over here. And what is the tax ID field you want to call it as? You can enter, you can give that name over here too. So if you're creating some tax settings and it is mandatory for you to collect the tax ID, the GST number, for example, from the customer, you can create that tax ID field over here and you can give the name of that tax ID over here. But if you want to show or if you want to add the text ID field on your checkout page, you have to enable it from the text settings. So while creating the text settings, we will be learning in the upcoming part of the training. There you will get the section that how you can customize or how you can add the text ID over here. After text ID, we have this trial section. Now here under trial section, you can see if you are creating some kind of free trials, this is the message which we are going to show. So if the customer is opting for the free trial, if we are offering free trial, what kind of message you want to show to the customer. So you can basically create the free trial message text over here. And if you are creating a paid trial, you can show a different message. So you can show the paid trial message over here. You can enter that message over here. And in below that, here you can see trial end date. We have this placeholder for trial end date. And under paid trial, you can see this placeholder of trial end date, paid trial period, paid trial type, and paid trial amount. If you want in this description, you can add these details and whatever will be the detail, whatever will be the trial end date of this customer for the trial, that date will be added in the trial message over here. And you can change the font settings over here as well. Like for example, on the right side here, you can see your trial period ends on 23/11/2, after which your card will be charged. However, you will not be charged if you cancel before the trial. So we are showing this message for free trial as you can see, and we have added this placeholder of trial end date, that if the customer make the purchase today and we are offering a free trial, at this date, the trial will end, the free trial will end, and after that, we are going to charge the customer. If we are offering the paid trial, this kind of message, the paid trial text message will be shown in place of that. So here, if you want, you can customize this section, this trial period message as well. After trial message, here we have an option to customize the thank you page. So you can go to the thank you page section. You can customize the message which you are showing. You can basically select or change the card style like and increase the radius. Here you can see these corners are getting rounded. After that, if you want, you can change the color of this box as well. You can basically change or increase or decrease the spacing of this box, the position of this box. You can basically change the message, thank you for your purchase. Instead of this, you can write any other message. You can basically change the message description. You can add some placeholders given in this help text over here in the place of description. Customize it and make the changes. So basically, you will get all of these customization option as well. If you want, you can add some kind of thank you page background image. So if you want to show some kind of background image on the thank you page, you can upload the image. If not, you can add some kind of color in the thank you page itself too. It is something same as what we have done in the checkout page in the first step. After thank you page, we have multi-plan option. So if you are creating multi-plan checkout page, then here you have an option to customize that section as well. For example, for the customization purposes, we have added this show multi-plan preview because we have just added a preview. You can edit this text. It is written choose a plan, or for example, I want to write select a plan. You can customize this. You can basically change the size of the font, the weight and the color. You can adjust the spacing and the card style too. Let's say I want to change the background as this. So I'm keeping the background like this. I can make it transparent, or you can basically increase the radius or change the background color or the border color as well. Let's say I want to add a black border. You can do that. So if you are creating multi-plan checkout page, this section will be shown to the customer first. So you can customize this section too. After multi-plan, we have this upsell and downsell section. So here, if we are offering upsell and downsell to the customers, let's preview this. Let's enable the preview. This kind of section, upsell and downsell section, will be shown to the customer. And then if you want, you can make the customization of this upsell and downsell section. You can basically change the arrow, change the message which we are showing, and all of that over here. Yes, upgrade this order now. Then if you want, we want to change the button setting. For example, I want to keep this thank you message as left. I want to keep it at right, or I want to keep it at center. You can change the color of this section, color of the text. Then if you want to change the color of the funnel border. I want to add the red border to this funnel button. I want to change the button color as, for example, white or something else. You can do that too. Or you can basically change the hover color as well. Like I want to create the hover color as black. So whenever the customer is going to hover on this button, it will change the color to black. So here you can customize this button, this upsell or downsell section, upsell or downsell button as well. At last, we have this reCAPTCHA. So if you want, you can basically enable the reCAPTCHA option over here. In this way, if you want, you can just validate that whether the request or the payment is coming from a valid user. You can basically enable the reCAPTCHA and verify the user, or it is coming from a bot. So if you're getting some spamming, or if you want to add a safety to your checkout page to avoid spamming, you can just select this enable reCAPTCHA button. If you want to keep the invisible reCAPTCHA, you can just select it. You just have to enter your site key, reCAPTCHA site key, and the secret key over here. So this was the complete customization option offered by Pabbly subscription billing. In this way, you can completely customize your checkout page in Pabbly subscription billing. If something goes wrong, if you don't like the customization and reset the checkout page, just click on this reset button and it is done. All the customization which we have made is gone, and now the complete checkout page is now restored. It is now reset to the basic settings, basic section over here. And after making it reset, just click on save and the customization checkout page is saved. So this was the checkout customizer offered by Pabbly subscription billing.